Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see. Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and a big shout out to everybody who takes time out their day to join me out here while I do my vents on these crazy headlines that are going on every day. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would hit a like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get on with some of these crazy things going on. What if everything is a big lie? What if everything we've been told is a lie? Like all these things now, you heard like some of these controversial interviews with some certain celebrities where they claim this could be the year where truths will be exposed. And at like high levels. And you're starting to see a lot of things happen. You got the Diddy thing going on. With most recent, you got the Haktua scandal going on with that crypto scam. You got a lot of crazy things going on, and it's happening every day. Was the fight, was that boxing match rigged? The crazy political thing that's happening, there's crazy things going on, which I'll, touch on some of that as well. But what if these things were a big lie? Like, what if, all these things that we thought were crazy, just controversial topics, or what is that word? Conspiratorial, conspiracy theories and things like that. Like what if space was fake, and all these time, that stuff came out to be true. Like truth came out, space was fake. We never went to no moon. Like what would you do now? Like, I mean, every day we sit here, we do our own things. I mean, what would change? I mean, the truth would, would you just freak out every day and just be like, damn it, and be mad about it? How long would it last? Like, what would your grieving stage be like? It was like if space wasn't real. Or what if they do have this technology that is so advanced that we would be sitting here thinking we're like in these movies we watch on TV, like these sci-fi movies. And they really do hide and block this technology from us having access to it on a daily basis, and it would probably benefit humanity in like a very huge way. What if that stuff ended up being like fake, like that stuff really did exist, like, and they really were hiding those things? Well, that would be another crazy thing to talk about, or another rabbit hole to go down, or another drama, or maybe another thing to write about. It'd be some interesting topics. They'd be like, no, if you write about things that matter about your rights, you're racist or crazy. They start they start bashing you on the media and trying to back you down for making a stand of something like this. Or like what if those, like that, like blocked history, those hidden history or forbidden history, or like fake history, or they say like there's this ancient history they don't want to talk about old civilizations, and you see these big giant buildings that look like they were like built in Roman times, and they're like all over different parts of the world, and yet they were saying that they built those buildings when they were at times where they never had those kind of tools, and they had like they were riding around like horse and carriages and shit, and they claimed that they built these things in like really short amounts of time. And like, what if that stuff came out to be a lie? Like, it was like, no, we didn't. Like, we just came here. Somebody flashy thinged us. We woke up and just like moved into these buildings, and like people just kept sending us instructions. Like, we kept finding these books on like what to do. And like, what if that was the real thing? Like, what that would be trippy there. Like, I think that would affect us a lot too. Like, whoa. Because then we'd ask, like, that would just lead to like way more questions. It would be like way more questions. And like back to the celebrity thing, like what if the celebrities, like all those conspiracy things, like if it was true that all these celebrities do worship some kind of dark force or practice these so-called dark arts, and sold their souls for fame and fortune, and to stay in, people for to worship them and become these icons. Like, what if that became like true? And you see all these like symbolism in their music videos. You see these photo shoots. I spoke on them on some older episodes. Like, you see they're doing all these like very coincidental symbolism and all these things they're doing, and it happens to be specifically into the entertainment realm. Whether it be music, or film and things like that, and or other forms even. And so now people are starting to come across these things, and they're like tripping out. Like, what if all this shit is a lie? And like, what about the alien things? Like, what if the aliens was a lie? Or like, what if Parquet was buttered this whole fucking time? So now, with all these people coming out, I mean,
you don't even know who to believe anymore. You saw what was going on just during this election. I mean, you had people like this telling us what to do or what was what or how to live or what was true. Let's take a look.
Well, the sign says that it's 4 quarters for an hour, but a quarter only gets you 15 minutes. Yeah. So if my math is correct, that's not an hour.
That's not an hour. But it is. And also
a quarter, 15 minutes?
And so now you have this like new Fearstradamus coming out, this doctor who's not new to the news and things like that, but I'm not going to praise his name or anything like that. And he's coming out saying that, now that some crazy things are about to happen and they're trying to give us like another thing to be super afraid of. And it's really wild because I remember we had another doctor back in the day around, 2020-ish. And the guy told us some things were crazy going to happen to everyone, and it was going to affect everyone across the globe. And it changed everything. And you see how well that went when they were trying to even some kind of so-called curve, So this guy even gave us a start date. He even gave us a start date on these things that could be possibly happening to us. This new Fearstradamus guy. Let's take a look.
Big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry. We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019. And we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year. But there's still more. We know that we have a big problem with mosquito-transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast, where I am here in Texas. So we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back, or a Puche virus.
So here's a clip from a Joe Rogan episode from this same doctor who was on this episode, and he was apparently the guy who gave us our health advice, the one who was telling us like what was healthy. Shout out to the PBD podcast for this clip. But anyways, like we should be taking advice from this guy. Let's just take a look at this clip. Let's just take a look.
Do you take probiotics? Are you cautious about your diet?
I'm not as cautious about my diet as I should be. I'm a junk foodaholic, actually.
Well, that seems like a terrible thing for your health.
It is a terrible thing for my health, and something my wife is working on.
But that seems ridiculous for someone who works with health.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really wild when you see these kind of things. I mean, like Rogan's face kind of said it all. But he probably didn't want to scare the dude off or end the interview could have ended right away or something. So he just kind of looked down at he approached the microphone real close and did one of these. He was like he didn't even know what to do. It was because the guy that's supposed to be giving us health advice was like, I'm a snackaholic or junk foodaholic. Wow. So the junk foodaholic is the one telling us like what is healthy for us. Like you should be doing this while he continued to eat a Snickers bar and stuff like that. It's real interesting. It's real interesting also how some of these companies partnered up. I don't even know how much this is a lie because you kind of see like this could not be a lie. But if I say like it isn't, they could get mad at me over here and like mess with this video. But like you see some of these big companies, they're like, oh, we make a product that some people say supposedly causes diseases. And they're like, oh yeah, well we have a company that supposedly has treatments for such diseases. And so they decide like, hey, I got an idea. We should partner up. And like, that would be great. They say, you ever notice how like it's some of those like, pharmaceutical companies, they sell treatments, but you never hear them like say like, we're making advancements in cures. They only seem to be making advancements in treatments. That's why I feel like another thing that could be a lie. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Mentivent Podcast News. Till next time, see ya.